Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Don't nobody understand the words that are coming out of your mouth, man. Welcome back, everybody. We are here with a very exciting episode. Vee and I are so excited to talk about both these movies because we talk about them quite a bit on this podcast, and we'll get to those titles in just a minute. If you don't know what those movies are based on what I just said, Vee might have another quote for you all that we've discussed also. Vee?
$50 million!
There it is. I think everybody knows that one.
Well,
If
we've mentioned it enough times.
I know, yeah, in the last 3.5 years. But if you don't know it, you'll find out soon enough what these movies are that we're going to be discussing today. Welcome back to Movies You Missed podcast. Thanks, everybody, for sticking with us and giving us a little bit of space after the Oscars episode. Vee and I had some things going on in the real world that just kind of snuck up on us, and we need to take care of, but we're back now, and hopefully we'll be back on track, dropping episodes every week, and keeping you entertained and giving you movie recommendations, because that's what we do here, and we also do not spoil anything.
That's right. Thank you, everyone, so much for having some patience and sticking with us over the last month or so, and both of us have had some personal events come up in our lives, unfortunately, that have bumped a couple episodes, but we're still recording. We're still really excited to do this and still watching new movies every week for you to let you know what we thought of them. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But yes, I'm really happy to get back. And this last week watching both of these movies, it felt like the perfect films to do that.
Oh, yes, definitely.
It felt very us. It felt very back to basics in a lot of ways for why we love films and how excited we get about talking about them. So I really felt like we were getting back in the groove this week, way more so than the last couple weeks since basically almost all of March when we had a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, I'm really happy to be back with you and recording. And I was very, very much looking forward to recording this episode too.
Oh, hell yeah. It was a great revisit to both movies. I actually revisited my pick less than about 4 months ago.
Oh.
And it was fun to revisit it again because it just was. But like I said, we are a movie recommendation podcast. We don't spoil anything here. Vee and I have known each other for just about 30 years. We are BFFFFs. We are Vee is my Deadpool to their Wolverine. Yeah, exactly. We're here for the movies and the good times, and hopefully you are as well. And before we jump into the movies and the topic of this week's discussion, we love to discuss the movies we've seen in theaters or on streaming over the last week. So, Vee, I'm curious if you were able to check out anything new over the last week.
I was, actually. I saw one movie on streaming, and it was really fun. I certainly enjoyed it more than last year's movie of his, which was atrocious.
Oh.
You kind of liked it because it had Kevin James in it, but I thought it was too stupid to like. But it wasn't as good as his recent home video of beating his neighbor's ass.
That was great.
Highly recommend everyone watching on YouTube if you haven't already, because it was quite satisfying. And I am talking about Alan Ritchson's new Netflix movie called War Machine.
War Machine.
It was fun. It was all right.
It was fun. It was totally all right.
Yeah. It's definitely going to go on the could miss list, but it's a standard action streaming movie. He's very entertaining, as he always is. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to put it on a marquee or anything. I'm not going to yell from the rooftops. However, if you're interested in watching a fun action movie with Alan Ritchson in it, it's streaming on Netflix.
All right. Well, I was not going to talk about that movie until next week, but I also watched that one, and I had a good time.
Yeah.
I will be honest, I was on my phone for a good 70% of it, but
you probably didn't miss anything.
I missed not a damn thing, but the action was great, and it was fucking brutal. There was some brutality in that movie, and I had a good time with it, for sure. Nothing great, but enjoyable.
Yeah. And for Netflix, that's actually a pretty solid recommendation.
I would say so, yeah. But he really needs to close his mouth. He's a little bit too much of a mouth breather, and I'll be honest with you, I think he helped me realize that I'm a bit of a mouth breather, too.
Can confirm you are. However, he's hauling around a lot of weight. He's a bulky guy, so it's understandable he's got to breathe through his mouth.
Yeah, solid point.
So that's the movie I saw this last week. John, you want to tell everybody what you saw?
Yes, I want to touch real briefly on two Oscar nominees that both Vee and I can't remember, Vee, if you saw one of these two. Documentary called The Alabama Solution.
That is the one documentary I did not watch.
Okay. Very interesting documentary, twisted, very heartbreaking. Highly recommend checking it out. It's about the prison system in Alabama and what's going on in there. If you have an hour and a half to kill, highly recommend checking out The Alabama Solution. Completely understand why it was nominated for Best Documentary this last year.
All right.
And the other one, did I absolutely love every single fucked up, twisted minute of this movie. This is The Ugly Stepsister from Norway.
Yes, I'm so glad you finally watched it. I remember watching the trailer and immediately sending it to you.
You and my friend Brittany, who is a costume designer, who one day we will have on the show. The Ugly Stepsister was 2 massive thumbs up. So twisted, fantastically acted, and it is F-U-C-K'd. It is fucked, but it's so fantastic. It is one of the best adaptations of Cinderella I think I've seen literally in the last 40 years of my life.
Oh, amazing. Okay. That's funny
Yeah, it's
because
great.
the most recent season of Bridgerton was Cinderella based. So that's kind of funny.
Oh, no kidding. Oh,
yeah.
wow.
That I watched with Amy. But
That's right.
that was nominated for an Oscar?
It was nominated for Best Hair and Makeup.
Oh, cool. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Right on.
Oh, yeah. Highly recommend The Ugly Stepsister. If anybody can check it out, it is currently streaming on Hulu, and Alabama Solution is on HBO Max.
Awesome.
Next couple of movies I want to get into, I have seen a couple of times since we're a little bit late on this episode, but no big deal. Things happen. I went and saw a movie that my wife and I both read the book of by Andy Weir. This movie stars Ryan Gosling. This is Project Hail Mary.
I'm watching it this week.
Oh, great. Yes, I have seen it 3 times since its release. Read the book, loved the book, and the movie is, in my opinion, 2 very enthusiastic thumbs up. You just kind of have to take away a lot of believability and science fiction with it. It is nothing like The Martian, but it has that tone.
Okay. It's too bad there's a lot less realism in it, though.
Yeah, it's very, very sci-fi, but it's still a lot of fun.
Okay.
Did you read the book?
Well, that's why I've been delaying it, because I've been wanting to read the book before I watch the movie, but since I haven't had time to read the book, it's a vicious cycle. So
Yes.
I'm just going to forego the book. I'll just read it after the movie because the movie isn't going to be in theaters forever, so I'm going to watch the movie this week.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoy the movie. I very much did. Amy liked it. Amy has her issues with it. I don't really have any issues with it, but we'll get into that, V, when you see the movie.
Sounds good, and I've heard nothing but wonderful things about it from, I think, everyone.
Just about everyone, yeah.
Yeah.
I went with Amy, then I went with a buddy of mine, and then I took my parents to see it, and everybody so far has had a great time.
Nice.
This next movie is a complete revamp, I guess, if you want to call it that, or just a different version of Ready or Not / Kill Bill / so many different movies. This is Zazie Beetz and Patricia Arquette in They Will Kill You.
That movie was in the theaters for about a week and a half. I'm so pissed.
Yeah, it didn't last very long. It came out, I think, the week after Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. So it was very similar to that, but man, Zazie Beetz kicks some major ass in this movie.
I bet.
And Tom Felton, I think is his
Felton.
Tom Felton,
Yeah.
from Harry Potter. Yeah, just like Ready or Not and Ready or Not 2, this movie has some twisted ass kills, but it's a blast. I had a really good time.
I'm really excited to stream it as soon as it's out.
Absolutely. I think you'll have a good time with it.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, it's right up my alley for sure.
Hell yeah. The next movie I watched was a documentary on HBO Max. This was a documentary that revisits the Fukushima nuclear disaster that happened in Japan. Fukushima, A Nuclear Nightmare is the title of this one.
Sounds depressing.
It is, very much so. Most of it is in Japanese, which is great because a lot of documentaries are made by English filmmakers and they have the subjects speak in English, whereas this was all in Japanese, and we really can kind of sink our teeth into the whole disaster that happened. And I remember when this happened, but I don't remember it being as massive as the documentary actually portrays.
No, I do. Being on the West Coast, they always would show those graphs of how far the radiated water has gone through the Pacific.
That's what I remember the most, but I didn't realize how many of the reactors actually went down. So,
yeah.
Fukushima Nuclear Nightmare, if you are interested in something like that, give it a shot.
Is that a 2026 documentary?
That is a 2026 documentary, yes.
Awesome.
The next movie was a complete and utter blast. Nothing we haven't really seen before, but the cast was awesome. James Marsden, Isa Gonzalez, Keith David, and Vince Vaughn in Mike and Nick and Alice.
I almost watched that instead of War Machine this week.
Oh, you should check it out. I think you'll have a really good time. It's pretty fucking awesome.
Okay.
The last movie I'm going to talk about this week is a Rose Byrne movie that is very, very small. She was just nominated for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You at this last year's Oscars. This is a movie based on a true story about a woman in Seattle who is homeless that lives in her car. Her car gets stolen, and then she tries to retrieve it and goes through an entire legal nightmare trying to get her car back. This is a movie called Tow.
Okay, but is this like Rachel McAdams in Send Help where they're trying to ugly her up and you really can't because it's Rose Byrne and she's gorgeous?
No. It's
Okay,
kind
good.
of interesting you say that. She looks like Rose Byrne, but they did some things to her that make her look not Rose Byrne. But she does transform into this character, and I gotta say, the movie is unfortunate what happens to this woman, but it's also very funny, and I don't know if it's necessarily supposed to be, but I was in a theater with a lot of people at the local indie theater that you and I saw Zone of Interest in, and everybody seemed to enjoy it, and it's still playing in theaters. So,
good.
Tow with Rose Byrne, and Simon Rex also stars in this movie, as does Octavia Spencer and Ariana DeBose. Yeah, it's a pretty decent cast, and the movie's it's a fascinating flick.
I think I've seen one thing for it.
I didn't see anything. I just happened to pull up the website for that movie theater because they always play the indie stuff, and I saw Tow, and I ended up going to see it, and I enjoyed it.
Good.
Yeah. All right, I think it's time for East to meet West and West to meet East, and time to kick some ass all over Los Angeles and Hong Kong. V, what do you say?
I think... Yes, I'm very eager to get into this.
Perfect, let's do it.
Tell our audience the theme of this episode.
Theme of the episode is Rush Hour.
Oh, I'm so giddy.
And V, I believe you take it away with the first one.
I mean, I better go first considering I'm doing the original film.
This is the first time I think we've done this here at Movies You Miss Podcast, where we've done a one and a sequel.
Which is great because I think these are the perfect movies to take over one of our episodes.
I completely agree.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. I am talking about Rush Hour, the original that came out in 1998. And I'm just going to start off with a piece of trivia I don't normally start with. But since this movie did so well, it spawned a series. I'm going to let everybody know the original budget of the first Rush Hour was $33 million.
$33 million?
Yeah.
Wow.
Who do you think you are, an independent movie?
Yeah. 33 mil. Not a terrible budget, though.
Not a big one either, though.
No, definitely not.
Considering how many explosions they had in this movie.
Oh, yeah. There's a good amount.
Yes, so we start off in Hong Kong with Consul Han, who is having a celebration with a bunch of other big, powerful Hong Kongians? How do you say residents of Hong Kong?
I don't think Hong Kongians is even remotely correct.
I don't think so either, and I apologize. I just don't know what it would be. Hong Kong is actually its separate own independent entity from China, or at least it had been for a very long time. This is in 1997 when England is actually handing over control of Hong Kong back to the Chinese. And Hong Kong stayed as its own entity for a long time, but unfortunately Beijing and the powers that be in China have been pushing back and actually taking away a lot of that independence over the last couple of years, which is unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so this is actually in 1997, or at least this movie takes place in 1997 and a couple months after that, where Britain is handing over reins of Hong Kong to China, and so now all of these men and women in a big dining room are celebrating that fact. At one end is Consul Han, and at the other end is Tom Wilkinson playing Griffin.
Yeah.
Consul Han...
I actually did forget he was in this movie.
I always forget. I don't know why. He's a great character. He does a really good job, but I always forget. Consul Han is played by Tzi Ma. He's in Arrival. He plays the Chinese general, General Shang.
Yeah. Hell yes.
He has a very important role towards the end of the film. He also plays one of Pierce Brosnan's team in Dante's Peak, which is where I always recognize him from.
Oh, nice. I haven't seen Dante's Peak in a long time. I don't remember him in that. I remember Grant Heslov, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
In Dante's Peak.
It's definitely going to be on the list for another disaster movie. I think we're going to do that in Volcano, if I remember
We
correctly.
are, because Volcano is a superior movie.
Oh my God, I cannot wait for our audience to weigh in and pick my film instead. And
Yeah.
Tzi Ma also was in Chain Reaction the year before Dante's Peak
Oh, cool.
and is part of Keanu Reeves' team. So that's who Consul Han is in this movie. And Tom Wilkinson, all of you will recognize him because not only was he Lenny in Rock and Rolla, the head gangster.
Yeah.
Love him so much in that film. He's also the Secretary General in Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, one of your previous picks.
Yes.
Tom Wilkinson was also in another Tom Cruise movie called Valkyrie, which is kind of underrated. It wasn't as terrible as everybody said when it came out.
I wanted to see that one. I never got around to it, though. That was the Nazi movie.
It is. It's about the plot, actually one of the many plots to assassinate Hitler by other Nazis.
Right. Yes.
It was a cool turn for Tom Cruise. I thought it was nice for him to get out of his general, I don't want to say comfort zone, but to get out of what he's now become known for. It was an interesting story. I don't think it was executed perfectly, but it wasn't terrible either. Anyway, Tom Wilkinson also plays President Johnson in the movie Selma, and he's in the Grand Budapest Hotel, The Full Monty.
Wow.
I think my favorite role of his, though, is Carmine Falcone in Batman Begins.
Oh, yeah. Great.
The gangster that Christian Bale tries to face in the beginning of the movie. And Christian Bale rightfully gets a bit of a teardown there. And then also he plays a general with these awesome Great Danes in the movie The Patriot. That was a Mel Gibson movie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Mars, Jupiter.
Yeah,
the dogs' names. So that's Tom Wilkinson, so all of you will probably recognize him. And he and Consul Han are clearly friends, and he's also wishing Consul Han luck because Han is actually moving to the States with his young daughter. He's becoming, I believe, an ambassador to the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And within that evening, we are introduced to Soo Young, who's his young daughter, and she is really good friends with Jackie Chan, playing Inspector Lee.
Mm-hmm.
He was not only her mentor and instructor, but also is clearly really good friends with Consul Han as well. In that same evening, a little bit earlier, Inspector Lee has actually stopped a shipment of priceless Chinese artifacts being smuggled out of the country. And that was trying to be done by a gangster named Jun Tao, but nobody knows what Jun Tao looks like. And so clearly there's some history there with Inspector Lee that we're starting to get introduced to.
Mm-hmm.
So now fast forward to a couple months later, we're in Los Angeles. That's where Consul Han went. And this is where we get introduced to Chris Tucker playing Detective James Carter, who works for the LAPD. But as he tells a colleague of his that they are the most hated police force in the world, his mama is even ashamed of him. She tells everybody he's a drug dealer. So the first scene we see him in is actually at night. He's meeting some guy who happens to be Chris Penn in a parking lot. Chris Penn is Sean Penn's younger brother who unfortunately died at 40. Gosh, has it been almost 20 years now? Yeah, exactly 20 years. He died January 24th, 2006.
Wow.
Unfortunately, he died of a drug overdose, and he always reminded me a lot of Chris Farley.
Definitely, yes.
Was in on some comedies, bit heavyset, had drug problems. Just that unfortunate classic Hollywood story, and he was memorable in everything he was in. He was the sheriff in Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, that I picked last year. He also makes appearance in Reservoir Dogs, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and he was Kevin Bacon's friend in Footloose.
Oh.
He was
I've still never seen Footloose.
Oh, okay. He was the cowboy who's the local kid who Kevin Bacon teaches how to dance.
Very cool.
So now Chris Tucker and Chris Penn are having a conversation, and we don't know that Chris Tucker is actually a police officer yet, so he's undercover in a great outfit.
Oh, yeah.
Attempting to buy C4 from Chris Penn. Unfortunately, very bad luck happens, and 2 police officers arrive and shut this deal down. Chris Tucker ends up shooting the fleeing car, exploding all of the C4, which I just have to make everyone very clear on this fact. C4 is inert. It is very reliable, and that's why so many people use it, is because it's a very stable explosive unless you put a detonator actually into it. It's like Play-Doh. And so shooting the back of a car will not make a C4 explode. Just want everybody to know that.
Oh, all right. Well, that's good to know.
Gotta love that Hollywood movie magic.
The inaccuracies are building up already.
Yeah, when we're 10 minutes into the movie. So anyway, Chris Tucker playing Detective Carter is a bit of loose cannon. He doesn't have any partners. And when he goes into the station the next day, he's regaling all of his coworkers about this story and about it was on the front page and all this stuff. And it turns out he's in a lot of trouble because he didn't go with backup. He destroyed a city block, even though he argues with his chief, who is played by Philip Baker Hall, that that street was already messed up. It's fine.
Yeah. Lost a lot of evidence. There's still a little bit left.
Yeah. And so right around this time, Philip Baker Hall, who's playing the chief, and a lot of you guys would recognize Philip Baker Hall. We talk about him a lot on the show. He's a great character actor. He was in the Amityville Horror, Your Pick, a couple months ago. He plays the father. Well, Father Calloway, like a priest, not father. He's also in The Talented Mr. Ripley, The Insider, The Truman Show, Boogie Nights, Air Force One, Ghostbusters 2, many movies that we will be picking in the future, so we will continue to talk about Philip Baker Hall. But he gets a call from the FBI because, unfortunately, Consul Han's daughter has been kidnapped. in LA. And he is then called Inspector Lee back in China to help him. And so Inspector Lee is flying out to LA, and the FBI wants nothing to do with some guy from China coming in and screwing up their case because they're dicks. So they want to hand off basically a babysitting duty to somebody else. And so they call the LAPD, and Philip Baker Hall answers, and he sees it for what it obviously is, which is a babysitting duty. And he's saying, look, I'm not going to make one of my police officers do this shit job. No. And then Chris Tucker walks by. He's like, actually, I got the perfect guy. So Detective
someone right over.
So Detective Carter is now sent to the airport to meet Inspector Lee. He immediately assumes that Inspector Lee cannot speak English, which is a great series of events.
Oh, yes.
So Detective Carter's orders are to keep Inspector Lee away from the console, the scene of the crime, anything to do with the investigation whatsoever, meeting the FBI, etc. And so he's supposed to just take him around LA and keep him occupied. And the thing about Detective Carter, being a loose cannon as he is, he doesn't want to be babysitting either, and so he actually starts investigating on his own. And the entire time, Inspector Lee is trying to get away from him, and this is where Detective Carter realizes that Inspector Lee can, in fact, speak English, which is a great scene.
All of a sudden, you speaking English now, huh?
A little.
A little my ass, you lied to me.
I didn't say I didn't. You assume I didn't.
Assume I kick your little Beijing ass right now, man. I ain't scared of you. I know you know that little tricky shit. Come on.
I'm not responsible for your assumption.
You full of shit. You understand that? You full of shit.
Not being able to speak is not the same as not speaking. You seem as if you like to talk. I like to let people talk who like to talk. It makes it easier to find out how full of shit they are.
What the hell did you just say?
And since it's Jackie Chan, he very easily escapes Detective Carter's grasp and actually ends up at the console. And that is when they finally get pulled into the investigation itself. And this is where Detective Carter also shows up at the console. And this is the first time we're hearing from the kidnappers. Unfortunately for everyone involved, except us, because we enjoy this scene so much, we quote it all the time. Detective Carter is the one who answers the phone.
Yep.
You are FBI?
Yeah, this is the FBI.
If you want the girl back alive, listen and do not talk.
Okay, I'm listening. Let me get a pen. All right, cool.
The drop will be made tonight, 11 p.m. The amount will be $50 million.
$50 million? And who you think you kidnapped, Chelsea Clinton?
Keep him talking.
In US currency, nothing bigger than 50.
All right, cool. $50 million, no problem.
I want 20 million in 50.
20 million in 50.
20 million in 20.
20 million in 20s.
And 10 million in 10.
And 10 million in 10s. You want any fives with that?
And there's a great joke in this scene that so many people don't pick up. When Chris Tucker at the end says, "You want any fives with that?" And it's such a good pun, and so many people don't talk about it. Because it's like saying, "You want any fries with that?" Right? Because he's been making this really complex order of money.
I thought it was fries with
So
that.
did I.
I didn't know that he said fives with that. Oh, you watched with closed caption. So
Now I
is-
do, yeah. But for
Yeah,
20 years,
there's-
I thought it was fries, and he was
Okay,
making
that's
a
what I'm
joke.
saying. You now know that it's fives because you had your closed
Yes.
caption on. And every time I watch this movie, I'm like, fries with that. Typical Chris Tucker.
Yeah.
And now that you say that, it makes sense that he would say, "Want any fries with that?"
Yeah, and so now it's this multi-layered joke that's actually more clever than I even realized.
Wow. Good job, Chris Tucker.
Yeah, which it absolutely is Chris Tucker because he improvised almost every scene he was in, which
Makes
is
sense.
the entire movie, and I'll get into that in just a minute. So now Inspector Lee and Detective Carter are completely in this investigation. Consul Han knows they're both there, and they're working on it, so the FBI can't hold them back anymore, and they go full throttle into trying to find his daughter. They utilize as many contacts as Detective Carter have, including one of his friends on the police force, Johnson, who is
Oh, yeah.
studying to be a bomb tech, and the way he goes and talks to
Oh,
her the
that
following
scene
day is
is
so
insane.
great. He's such an asshole. But that's one of my favorite scenes as well. That also reminds me of the beginning of The Rock when Nick Cage is in that bomb room and they get the package. Always reminds me of that. And so now they're both investigating, and what proceeds is a massive amount of hijinks, especially by Chris Tucker because he's such a loudmouth. And at one point they go into a Chinese restaurant, and that's where he's surrounded by a group of thugs, and he gets kicked in the face, and I love where he looks around and he goes, "All right, which one of y'all kicked me?"
So good.
And I hadn't seen this movie in quite some time. It'd been over 10 years. I usually watch the sequel, and I'd forgotten how good the original is. It's so funny. There's great action. Jackie Chan is at his peak for both of these movies in terms of his stunts. It's so fun to watch. And juxtaposed with Chris Tucker's mouth is such a great combination. Those two together are the reason why this movie worked so well and therefore had several sequels. And so for the rest of the movie, they're both working hard in their own way, in their own style, to find this little girl, to hopefully bring her back home safe, and to figure out what the overall conspiracy and crime is behind it all. And so yes, I've been watching this movie since it came out. I watched the second one in theaters, which I was very happy to do. And I've loved it since the beginning. So has my whole family. And Chris Tucker's still just so funny. I was really worried he would get annoying, and he's not at all. I mean, there's a scene at one point in the movie where he needs to clear a room, and so he says to everyone that there's a bomb threat, and he's like, okay, everybody be calm. Don't freak out, but there's a bomb threat. You need to leave. And everybody's like, okay. And he's like, did you hear what I said? Pack up your shit and go.
Yeah, that scene is always cracks me up.
I just love this film. I think it still holds up great, and I'm so glad they made a sequel because the sequel is fantastic, and we'll talk about that in a minute, of course. But it also ends with bloopers, which makes me so happy every single time.
Yes.
So yeah, that is the basis and foundation for the Rush Hour movies, that these two guys from completely different cultures, completely different personalities, paired together to solve crime, and it's just great, and I'm so glad it holds up, and I'm really happy to be finally talking about it on this podcast. So that's my rundown of Rush Hour, and let me know if I missed anything or what your favorite scenes are.
I have not watched the first Rush Hour, and it's got to be at least 15 years.
Right?
Because after my pick came out, that's really the only one I ever watched.
Same.
And I think that's the consensus with most people. But then when I did revisit Rush Hour for this episode, I loved it again. And I saw Rush Hour in theaters with a friend of mine from junior high. I remember him very well. His name was Tim. His last name I will redact from this recording.
Good call.
To protect to protect the innocent. But this guy was he was the whitest white guy I knew until we saw this movie, and all of a sudden he thought he was the next Chris Tucker.
Oh God, classic millennial,
classic white boy wanting to be black sort of situation. Regardless, I remember loving it the first time I got it on DVD, and I watched it so much from 1998. I think was when the DVD came out, because the movie came out in 97, right?
No, the movie came out in 98, so it probably 99.
Oh, okay,
the DVD
99
came out
DVD then.
It took like a year for DVDs to come out.
Yeah. So I got the DVD at Best Buy, and I showed my parents. My parents thought it was a fun movie, but they weren't the biggest fan of the language and the back and forth with Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan, which, of course, the whole world over was a fan of. Now, granted, my parents aren't the only ones that don't like this movie, and that's fine, but that's neither here nor there. Of course, everybody likes the phone call scene, and what's interesting about the phone call scene is I didn't notice that the phone actually rang for like a split second before Chris Tucker picked the phone up, and I only noticed that, I think, when I was maybe 14 years old. I was watching it one night on my computer, like late at night, because I used to stay up till 3, 4 in the morning watching movies after I'd get back from going to the movies with my buddies. And I remember sitting there watching that scene and being like, oh my gosh, the phone actually did ring. And I love the scene where he calls Johnson, and Johnson's making food in her house, and she's listening to Make a Little Dance, Make a Little Love. And he's like, look, I really need your help. And she goes, okay, I'll see what I can do. And he goes, oh, yeah, Johnson, what color panties you got on? And she like hangs the phone up on him. He was such a fucking misogynist towards her, but I love that they ended up working together. And you didn't mention it, but she actually voices a character in The Incredibles. And unfortunately, she passed away very shortly after The Incredibles came out. And I can't remember what she did pass away from. But I liked her character. Baker Hall was great. Can't forget the Michael Jackson dance he does after he blows up the car, of course.
Oh, gosh, I didn't mention
that whole thing was... I actually used to do that after I would compete at swim meets. If I like got first or second, I would always do that kick and like do the whole hand and neck bob thing, and I still can do it, and it's a fun dance.
I can't wait to make you do that at some point. But yes, you're right. Elizabeth Pena, I forgot to mention. That's it. That's right.
Yes.
She voices Mirage, the super sexy woman in The Incredibles. And unfortunately, she had really bad problems with alcohol, and she died of cirrhosis of the liver at 55.
Oh, damn. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was really
That's
unfortunate.
very unfortunate. Yeah.
But
otherwise...
She was great in this film. I'm so glad we got to
she
see
was.
her.
And she was great as the voice in The Incredibles.
Yes, definitely.
But other than that, so many other great moments in this movie. I love when they're in Chinatown and Detective Carter goes into the restaurant and he goes, where's Jun Tao at? I'm here to see Jun Tao. And the girl's like, oh, I don't know who you're talking about. Hey, listen, I'm Jun Tao's lawyer. I need to see Jun Tao. You go get me Jun Tao right now. Get me Jun Tao. She like sits them down, and then that leads into the which one of y'all kicked me, which is great, of course. You know, the thing about it is, I feel like this still could be made today, and I feel like
they would just
for
omit
whatever
a
reason,
couple jokes.
Maybe, but I don't. It wasn't like overly racist, and I know we're white, but at the same time, it wasn't like if it were overly racist, it could have been R-rated, and they could have dropped a lot more vulgarities, which they never did do. And I feel like similar to What's the Worst That Could Happen, that could have been R-rated, but the direction was coming. Producers were coming in, being like, we want this to be PG-13. We want this to resonate with a younger crowd. At least 13-year-old, because a PG-13 movie, anybody from the age of 8 to 13 or 15 is going to those movies, usually with their friends. Like, parents will drop their kids off and they'll go to the movies. And that happened to me with Men in Black and a couple other movies. Also, the soundtrack is great. Don't You Ever Touch a Black Man's Radio. That's when I got introduced. I think this movie actually introduced me to Jay-Z, because that song that Chris Tucker puts on is that Jay-Z song, Can I Get a Fuck You? And it's like, bounce with me, bounce with me. And I was like, what is that? And my friend Kingsley, who we were friends in junior high, but we didn't see this movie together. And I was like, dude, there's this song in this movie called Rush Hour. And it goes like, can you bounce with me, bounce with me? He goes, oh yeah, that's Jay-Z. The song's called Can I Get a Fuck You? But it's actually called Can I Get a What, which was the edited version for TV and the Walmart discs. This movie introduced me to that. A little bit more so the Beach Boys, too, because Inspector Lee is a big Beach Boys fan, apparently. Other than that, Tom Wilkinson was great, and the little girl that plays Soo Young, I think, was like a year older than me when she made this movie, so that was pretty interesting. And watching it now, I'm like, man, she was so young. But then I'm like,
didn't do anything else.
Was she? No, I think she was in Rush Hour 3, though. I think she showed up in Rush Hour 3
Yeah, she has
for like
2 credits.
3 minutes. Yeah. But hey, you know what? She left behind somewhat of a legacy. She's in the Rush Hour movies. And I loved everything. The action's awesome. The karate and the Jackie Chan of it all is just a blast. And of course, the outtakes at the end where he can't say certain words is just magnificent.
I totally agree. I was really worried about a little bit of it because we hadn't seen it. We both hadn't seen it in so long. And so I was a little concerned by the datedness of it to make sure it wasn't offensive or dated, and also took Inspector Lee as a punchline in this film. And thankfully it didn't, or just Chinese culture in general. And it did a couple times, but nothing so egregious that I was like, ugh, right? I mean, it was just more in passing lines where I'm like, okay. And so that actually made me really happy that it held up as well as it did.
Yeah. It really. I laughed a lot more watching Rush Hour than I thought that I would.
Same.
After all these years.
Yeah.
Definitely.
No,
yeah,
I totally
it's still
agree.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I was laughing in the first 4 minutes of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's great. And it didn't let up, which is nice. And that's the thing about both these films, that I just want to say it now before I forget, is they're consistently funny comedies. And that's so hard to do. And that's one of the reasons why I love them so much, is because you can laugh the entire film all the way through the credits.
It's got a good pulse. It's got good energy.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And Jackie Chan, well, I actually was introduced to a couple of his Chinese movies before this one. My dad actually introduced us to a couple of his action films, including Rumble in the Bronx, which came out in like 95. And so I was
that's
watching,
like his big one.
Yeah, I was watching that before I was watching Rush Hour movies, but he was also in Police Story, which is great. Mr. Nice Guy as well.
Oh, yeah. He's in the tuxedo also.
Yeah.
Don't forget the tuxedo. That movie sucks.
Yeah.
But it's still entertaining.
No, it's terrible. But more recently, he was in the Karate Kid remakes.
Yeah.
With Will Smith's son, which those didn't need to be remade at all.
Didn't see him. Not even at all.
No.
Did Jackie Chan show up in the latest Karate Kid
I think for a hot second.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't see the Jaden Smith one or the newest one, like Legends or something like that, that Ralph Macchio showed up for. I didn't see that one.
Instead, I actually celebrate him being in Shanghai Noon.
Yes!
Is incredible.
Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights. Those are... Whoa, we could do those. Those are still hilarious.
I'm happy to do the original.
Yeah.
Lucy Liu's in the original.
One of my favorite moments. Yes, she is. Yes.
And she looks like she's 14. And I just found out recently she's an accomplished painter.
Is that right?
Yeah, I just saw a post about her, and there were a bunch of pictures of her work, and it was pretty good, actually. And the last movie of Jackie Chan's that I want to talk about is called The Foreigner with Pierce Brosnan.
I was hoping you were going to talk about that.
Yeah, it's a great film. You know
so awesome.
That should absolutely be on our list because it's super underrated.
It's completely underrated. Nobody fucking knows about it. It like flew under the radar. And it really was bad ass. I saw one trailer. I didn't see it in theaters, but I did rent it, and I loved it. I thought it was so kick-ass.
Yeah, I didn't see it in theaters either, but my father introduced me to it, if I remember correctly.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's a good revenge flick.
I think that's why I love it so much.
Yeah, makes sense.
You guys know I love revenge movies. And Chris Tucker playing Carter, he did some more serious roles. He was in The Silver Linings Playbook and Jackie Brown.
Mm-hmm.
But his lighter roles include Friday, which is coming up,
Yep.
and The Fifth Element.
Of course.
Of course.
Corbin Dallas!
Oh my God, you sound exactly like him. Nicely done. That was impressive.
He should do some voice work. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely. He would be really good as some animated character.
Oh, yeah.
To get into a little bit of trivia about Rush Hour, the original,
Yeah.
one of the versions of this script, one of the early versions, not only did it sell in 1995 for $300,000,
Hey.
which is great, but
Yeah.
one of the original versions, it was an FBI investigator and his hostage negotiator wife team up to try to figure out where a bomb has been hidden after the terrorist who planted the bomb is killed before the pair can get to him.
Interesting.
That sounds like a great script. I want to see that movie.
Yeah, it does. Was that a Jeff Nathanson written script?
No, it was Ross LaManna.
Oh, okay. He's the other credited writer on this,
He's the
right?
other credited writer on it. I didn't see many recognizable movies from the rest of his credits, unfortunately, but
Okay.
I really wish he would have taken another stab at that version of it. And I think that would have been really cool. And the original casting choices for these two top roles were Chris Farley and Martin Lawrence.
Whoa.
Because this
I was going
script
to say
was
Bruce
sold.
Willis and somebody.
He's not funny enough for this role, but
True.
this script was sold back in 1995, so that's when it started to get developed. And unfortunately, Chris Farley started to go downhill during the subsequent
yeah.
years. And both he and Martin Lawrence and the production company decided not to make it. And so then
Oh.
Will Smith, Eddie Murphy, Wesley Snipes, Chris Rock, Tupac, and Dave Chappelle were all considered for the role.
Oh, wow.
So Jackie Chan was already cast at this point, and Martin Lawrence was actually his preferred choice.
Oh, no way.
But Martin Lawrence turned it down because the salary offer was too low.
Oh.
Idiot!
Yeah, really.
Eddie Murphy then declined because he was making Holy Man, which I never even heard of. I'm sure it was
I've
dog
heard
shit.
of it. I've never seen
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it's supposed to be one of the worst movies that Eddie Murphy did before Meet Dave.
Not surprised. And then Wesley Snipes declined to do Blade, which, thank you, because that movie
nice.
is badass. Tupac Shakur was shot, so then Chris Tucker was up. And Jackie Chan was top billed,
Yes, he was.
which is so amazing. I was so happy for him, especially because it was his first ever English-speaking American movie.
Mm-hmm. Pretty awesome.
Most of his films that were English-speaking, he was dubbed before this.
So wild.
And so this is the first time as Americans we really get to hear his voice in English, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And I mentioned a little bit earlier that Chris Tucker improvised most of his dialogue. And according to the director, who I will not name, by the way, because he is the ultimate creep, he was canceled in Hollywood because he was so awful. So I'm not going to talk about him. And I don't think John is
Name
either.
redacted. No, I won't talk about
Okay, great. So according to the director, during the scenes at Grauman's Chinese Theater where he's talking to John Hawkes, of all people, who is a great character actor. He was in American Gangster. He was on Russell Crowe's team.
Right,
He's also
right.
in The Perfect Storm, From Dusk Till Dawn, Congo. He's a wonderful character actor. You guys will
Yeah.
totally recognize him as soon as you see him. He's hawking celebrity maps
The star maps. Yeah.
in front of Grauman's. And so when this scene is happening, there was so much improvisation between Chris Tucker and John Hawkes that they almost couldn't use the scene at all. And so much editing had to happen that you can see if you watch it closely, there's a little bit of this dialogue doesn't completely make sense. It's not completely coherent. And it's because the continuity errors are specifically because they were improvising so much together.
Oh, wow.
Which is great.
That's crazy.
I
That's
wanna
pretty cool,
see-
though.
It is. And I want to see an extended cut of this movie. All of these movies.
Yes.
I can't
That would be
imagine
awesome.
all the shit that Chris Tucker said.
Seriously.
It's got to be ridiculous. In the scene at the airport where Jackie Chan meets Chris Tucker for the very first time, it's very similar to the first time the actors met in real life at the William Morris Agency.
Really?
They probably had very similar agents, or at least were under the same umbrella. And Jackie Chan said Chris Tucker was talking so fast that after the meeting ended, Jackie Chan told his manager, "I don't understand any of the words coming out of his mouth." And that's why it was incorporated into the movie.
Awesome.
Yes.
That is fantastic.
Yes.
Authenticity at its finest.
It is, and it's true. Chris Tucker speaks very fast, even for a
Yeah, he
native
does.
English speaker to listen to him. You gotta pay attention. And you probably know this, considering how much time you and I have lived in LA. The Fu Chao restaurant is a real restaurant in Chinatown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And as of about a year ago, there's still a sign that says Rush Hour was filmed here.
Hell yeah.
Which is great. And the exterior shots of the Chinese consulate in LA were the exterior shots used for Wayne Manor in the original Batman movie in 1966,
Oh, wow. That's neat.
which is really cool.
Yeah.
And speaking of cuts, after filming and editing was completed, this film was shown to a test audience, as it usually is.
Yeah.
They demanded more Jackie Chan action scenes.
Oh, really?
So everyone went back and did some pickup shoots. The scene where Jackie Chan fights multiple people during the big closing confrontation, the climax of the movie, including the giant vase scene, which is an amazing scene.
I love
That was
moment.
all added after the test audience.
No way.
So
wow.
thank God.
Yeah, that moment is really badass.
It makes the climax of the movie so much better that there's that much fighting and action.
Definitely. Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so glad they did that.
It's so
grateful.
cliche though for movies like this to have like a final 15 minutes where it's just mayhem.
Right.
But it's like one of those times where it all is like coherent and none of it's like wait. Like camera isn't moving too fast. They're not cutting too fast. It's not like a whole lot of jump cuts or anything. But yeah, that vase scene, when I was watching it this time, I was like, damn, and of course he's holding that shit up for real.
Of course he is. And
Yeah.
because he's Jackie Chan. But also,
Yeah.
I think another reason why it works is because Chris Tucker's scenes, because he's not with Jackie Chan at this point, are a lot slower and bring it down a little bit. And so you can take a breath as an audience member. And then you go back to the fights with Jackie Chan, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think that cadence where you're being brought up and you're paying attention, it's really intense fight scenes, it's really action oriented and really awesome. And then you come down and you're with Chris Tucker and also Elizabeth Pena and you're relaxed a little bit more. You can take a breath. And so you're not exhausted by the time the end of this movie comes around, right? And the last piece of trivia I want to share, which I think is so cool. I've never heard this piece of trivia before. I'm so glad I know it now.
Yeah.
This film inspired the creation of the website Rotten Tomatoes.
Did it really?
It was founded by Sen Dong, and he's a big Jackie Chan fan.
Oh.
He built the website to collect reviews for all of Jackie Chan's Hong Kong films as they were being released in the United States.
Really?
He coded the site in 2 weeks and put it up shortly before the release of this film to coincide with it.
Wow.
Rotten Tomatoes is second to IMDb when it comes to movie trivia, knowing when movies are coming out, reviews, etc. Rotten Tomatoes is huge. If any of you have never been on it, definitely check it out. Highly recommend. It's a very fun website. And now it's a giant movie database. It's one of the most visited websites online.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I never go on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's where the tomato meter comes from when people are talking about certified fresh movies. It's from Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I don't do the Rotten Tomatoes thing.
Oh, I like it. It's a lot of fun.
I know a lot of people do, and I don't. That's just me.
I like it more than Letterboxd.
Oh, all right. Nice.
So that is Rush Hour. Now I've set the scene for the sequel.
Yeah.
John, you want to take it away?
I might as well take it away to the year 2001 when this sequel came out. This film stars Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker.
I did not
top
see
of,
that coming.
I know, right? And a couple other actors as well, and actresses. John Lone is in this film. Ziyi Zhang is in this film as well.
Yes.
Rosalind Sanchez is also in this movie.
God, yes, she is.
Oh my gosh, yes, she is
Oh
indeed.
my God.
I had the absolute pleasure of working with her for a day at Funny or Die.
No
and
way.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in real
Yep,
life.
that is a 100% true statement. She is absolutely stunning. And in person, even more so. I couldn't believe it when she walked in. I don't think she had any makeup on, and everybody just kind of like froze and was like, "Oh gosh,
Yeah.
Rosalind Sanchez is here."
That's the thing that I tell people whenever we talk about beautiful women or actresses or start telling stories like who we've met and etc. You think about the most beautiful woman you've met in your entire life, and then you amplify that, and that is a Hollywood actress.
Yeah.
There's something about them that draws you in. There's a magnetism. I'm saying that about Rosalind. I'm saying that about Angelina Jolie. I'm saying that about Sandra Bullock. Many actresses who I've met who you think that they're beautiful on TV or in a movie. I can tell you in real life, they're usually more beautiful if that's possible. And you are rather speechless when you see a woman this beautiful. It's crazy. So
yeah.
Anyway, not to take away from that, but yes, I agree. Rosalind Sanchez. I wrote it down because I forgot that I remember she was in the movie, but I forgot how beautiful she is. And in real life, she's married to the guy. If any of you watch The Rookie, in real life, she's married to Tim Bradford.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, I don't watch The Rookie, but I know his name because he's in Harold and Kumar Escape Guantanamo Bay.
He's also the really hot neighbor in The Ugly Truth that Katherine Heigl tries to date.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. He's been around.
That's right.
They have really cute social media. They're great together.
I couldn't care less.
I know.
But,
anyway, sorry. Go ahead. Keep going with Rush Hour 2.
It's all good.
Sorry.
Rosalind Sanchez in this film. We also have Alan King and a wonderful scene with Don Cheadle and an even better scene with Ari Gold, Jeremy fucking Piven in this movie. We'll get into that in just a little bit. Let's break down Rush Hour 2 just a little bit. Rush Hour 2 actually starts out almost exactly like Rush Hour 1. Same exact soundtrack, almost exactly the same establishing shots, but several years forward, better film stock, etc. So basically what happens in the beginning of this movie is the American embassy in Hong Kong has been bombed and 2 American translators have been killed. This movie takes place very closely to when the first movie ends, and we're reintroduced to Inspector Lee and Detective Carter listening to the Beach Boys in the streets of Hong Kong.
I was introduced to the Beach Boys when I was very young by my friend Melody Barron, who lived across the creek.
Ah.
And she was my best friend when I was really little. I remember breaking my elbow at her house when I was 5.
Oh, wow.
Well,
all right. That's a deep cut remembrance.
I tried to jump off one of those, a swing. You know how you
go
to the very top and then you jump off as a kid?
Yeah.
Well, I
did that all the time.
Yeah, well, one of the times that I did it, I fell and broke my elbow.
Broke your arm.
This is the first bone I broke.
I did that a lot on the playground and always acted like I was Mufasa being thrown by Scar. And I would always scream like that too and play the music in my head. So my life was very cinematic, still is. Either way. So Detective Carter and Detective Lee are hanging out in Hong Kong, and Carter is really wanting to get in with the Hong Kong ladies and really wants to possibly hook up and meet some women and hang out and eat some good food and
He's on vacation.
stop working all these. Yeah, he's on vacation. He doesn't want to keep working Inspector Lee's cases. Lee's like, you know what? Let's go to a karaoke bar. Let's have a couple drinks. Let's hang out. Of course, it's under a ruse because Lee gets a phone call from his chief inspector about the explosion that we first see in the beginning of this movie. He's told that there's 2 American translators that were killed. He's got to go infiltrate one of the clubs where the triads are hanging out, and possibly somebody named Ricky Tan might be involved. So Inspector Lee is like, all right, I'm on it. And Detective Carter is like, did you take another damn case on my vacation, man? And he's like, no. I mean, Inspector just invite us to a club. And he goes, well, all right, let's go then. So they go to the club, and Lee kind of goes off on his own while Detective Carter is watching the Asian community do karaoke. Detective Carter is not very happy about how this young man is singing Don't Stop Till You Get Enough by Michael Jackson. So what does Carter do? He gets up there and does the same thing. But apparently, in the making of this movie, Chris Tucker did not want to imitate Michael Jackson or do any of this for the movie. So what we see in this movie is between setups, quote unquote.
No way.
That's what I read, and that's what I found out. I don't know how true it is.
He was good friends with Michael Jackson. That makes sense.
Of course he was. Yeah. The music video that Chris Tucker is in came out a month after this movie was released. Mm-hmm. So there's that. So one thing leads to another, and Detective Lee sees Hu Lee, who is played by Ziyi Zhang, who is also the young Asian actress from Memoirs of a Geisha, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Apparently didn't speak a single word of English. She speaks Mandarin in this movie, and she took most of her direction from Jackie Chan in Mandarin because she couldn't understand any English. She didn't know literally any English. She says 2 things. Yeah, she says 2 things in English. She says some apple and out in this movie, and that's the only time she ever speaks English.
Yeah.
And her and Rosalind Sanchez were sitting together, and Ziyi Zhang was asking Rosalind Sanchez to teach her some English words, but Rosalind Sanchez was like, I can teach you, but the problem is when you hear it from me and you imitate me, it's going to come off as a Puerto Rican accent.
Yeah.
So why don't you let's just not worry about it right now. Which was fascinating, and it totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Because however you learn a language is how you're going to be pronouncing it and how you're going to be doing all that kind of stuff. So he sees Hu Lee, and he chases her out of the club in this awesome sequence of chasing around the downtown streets of Hong Kong. An awesome bamboo sequence where Detective Carter and Detective Lee are stuck on this bamboo terrace, and just a bunch of action and a whole bunch of craziness. Hu Lee gets away, and now we find out that these American translators that were killed were actually not American translators. They were United States customs agents trying to break a triad smuggling ring. So now Inspector Lee has been given this information from the Secret Service that he just needs to keep his ear close to the ground and keep an eye out for Ricky Tan. If anything, keep us informed. You're working now for the United States government. So, of course, Carter's a little upset about the fact that Lee was taken in the back room and given some instructions, but Detective Lee was kind of like, you know what? Hey, let's go get a massage. Let's just let's enjoy your vacation. I want you to have a good time while you're out here. So they go to Heaven on Earth Massage Parlor, and this is a fantastic scene, not of just comedy, but incredible hand-to-hand combat. And just so badass. And some of the comedy that Tucker drops in this sequence is awesome. And of course, one of the main reasons why they are going to Heaven on Earth is because Inspector Lee has gotten a tip that maybe Ricky Tan and his gang of triads are there. And one thing leads to another, whole massive kickboxing, karate action, etc. So after the whole hand-to-hand combat and beatdown at the Heaven on Earth massage parlor, Detective Carter and Detective Lee are taken from the massage parlor by Hu Lee and are then dropped out in the middle of the freeway, completely bare-ass naked. And this apparently was also they didn't close down the freeway for this scene. And when they're running through the cars that are parked, that is actually authentic. All those horns honking were actually added in later because all of the people in the cars were yelling at Jackie Chan and asking him why he was running down the street naked.
Oh, yeah, because he's very famous.
He's covered himself.
In China.
He's very famous in China. And he's covering himself up with newspapers.
Oh, my God. I love that scene even more now.
Yeah, it's so great.
Oh, I love that they didn't shut down the street. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. So now, of course, Carter is pissed off at Lee again because he lied to him, didn't give him the information about the fact that they were going to try and get Ricky Tan and bring him back to the station. Carter finds out that he's left his wallet back at the massage parlor, decides to leave the police station, and then immediatamente after that, a bomb goes off in the police station, in the room that Detective Carter was just in. So now Inspector Lee thinks that Detective Carter has been killed. All he wanted was some mushu. A great moment of course, remorse and sadness that we get with Jackie Chan. On his way to the massage parlor, Detective Carter, he sees Ricky Tan, decides to follow him in a cab. This cab follows Ricky Tan in another cab to this yacht where we end up meeting Isabella Morena, played by Rosalind Sanchez, and we meet Stephen Rain, who is apparently the guy that owns half Los Angeles, because this is when Lee and Carter reconnect again, and that's a great scene too. I'm just going to let this play out in the audio clip.
Ricky Tan, where is he?
I don't know.
He killed a detective today. Where is he?
Who got killed, man?
Connor,
Who died, Lee?
you!
Detective you?
Not you, you!
Who?
You!
Who?
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Don't nobody understand the words that are coming out of your mouth, man.
I love that moment. I'll never forget it in the theater. My buddies and I were laughing our asses off. I saw this 3 times in less than 4 days when it first came out. And in my DVD of Rush Hour 2, I have 2 of my tickets from back then, and I wanted to read them to you, V.
Yeah, definitely.
Rush Hour 2, Theater Number 3, Matinee, $6, August 5th and August 8th of 2001.
Amazing. God.
I don't have my first ticket. I don't have a third ticket, but I have 2 of the 3 times that I went.
A month before the world changed.
Exactly, yeah. Wow. And those tickets were 2 or 3 days apart. So anyway, they're on this yacht and something goes down. Ricky Tan gets shot by Hu Lee. And now all of a sudden, Ricky Tan is gone, and the U.S. Secret Service is pissed at Lee because they didn't get the information from Lee that they should have gotten from him, and now they're sending Detective Carter back to L.A. because he was somehow also involved in this whole shebang with the triads and Ricky Tan. And Detective Carter and Lee decide that they're going to end up working together, go back to L.A., and try and figure out what the hell is going on with this triad smuggling ring. And Carter's theory of criminal investigation is given to Detective Lee on the plane. Follow the rich white man. Usually when shit's going down, white people are screaming and running around their asses off, and I love that moment when he does the high-pitched scream.
Screams in the airplane.
And Jackie Chan's like, you do that all the time. He goes, hey, let me tell you something about black people. When shit goes down, we keep our cool. He's like, and you could just see Lee sitting there. He's like, no, you fucking don't. But either way. And for the rest of the movie, we are along for the ride while Lee and Carter try and navigate through L.A. to find Stephen Rain and also figure out not only is this triad smuggling ring going from Hong Kong to the U.S., but all of a sudden now there's a bunch of counterfeit money showing up that Isabella Morena tells them about. It's like $100 million, and they're trying to figure out how they're going to be laundering this money. And for the rest of the movie, that's pretty much what we get. More hand-to-hand combat, more fast talk from Chris Tucker, some hilarious moments also with Jackie Chan. So that is pretty much the breakdown of Rush Hour 2. It's an hour and a half. It goes by so damn fast. It feels like it's like a 15-minute movie because you're just laughing so much. And you're trying to pay attention to these hand-to-hand combat sequences with Jackie Chan, including Chris Tucker, because Chris Tucker gets real in the nitty-gritty in this one too. He doesn't like run away like he does in the first one as much. And it's just an all-around great time. 2001, it's 2026. This movie's 25 years old, and it, like the first one, is holding up so damn well. And the thing is, I like Rush Hour 3 too. I think Rush Hour 3 was a great third. It's like, it's not a perfect trilogy like BTTF or that's pretty much it.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, yes, can't forget about Lord of the Rings. No. But Rush Hour 2 is just so damn fun. So, V, let's hear your thoughts on Rush Hour 2. I don't know when you last watched this one, but like I said, this is my second watch in less than 6 months.
I haven't seen it probably in about 8 years or so. More recently than the first one, but not recently at all. So it was really nice to revisit both of these. But before I get into my favorite parts of this movie, I think you should talk about Don Cheadle.
Oh, yes. Karate Kenny is what they call him in this movie. Apparently, he was not going to do the movie unless he got to fight Jackie Chan, and that ended up working out.
That's amazing.
It's not a big fight sequence, but it is a great sequence.
No, it's very memorable. He's like, man, you're a black man who owns a Chinese food place on Crenshaw. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, Karate Kenny, yes, black guy, informant really for the LAPD, and you can tell there's a lot of animosity between Karate Kenny and Detective Carter. And I love when Cheadle asks Lee at one point, he goes, how come you're hanging out with 7-Eleven? And he goes, his mouth never closes. And they're like, oh. And Tucker's like, I heard that.
The funny thing when you say animosity is because during the blooper reel, Don Cheadle yells at Chris Tucker, and I've always wondered if
because he can't get his fucking name.
Yeah, I wonder if he's legitimately frustrated with Chris Tucker in that moment. I've always wondered if that was
possible.
Legitimate. Or if he was just,
I kind of feel like
along.
It might be that, because he seems like he's more of a serious actor than a comedic actor.
Yeah, it would seem like Chris Tucker would annoy him because John Cheadle takes things seriously, and he probably is a different style than him. I always wondered if, he probably doesn't improvise, right? And so Chris Tucker improvising a lot might have upset him. So I've always wondered that.
I have too, because it's interesting too that you say that, because the scene that the blooper is in is the camera's on Tucker a lot, and all he keeps saying is, we'd love to see that. Wouldn't we love to see that, Jackie? Jackie. He's like, his name is Lee, God damn it. Like, it's like, oh shit, yeah. And there's a couple other moments in the blooper reel where Chris Tucker just can't get the right fucking word out of his mouth. Obviously, it happens with Jackie Chan too. But anyway, let's get back to what your thoughts are on Rush Hour 2.
I love this movie so much. It's definitely one of those series where I do believe that the sequel is superior. And I love when they first get introduced to Rosalind Sanchez and Chris Tucker goes, damn you fine.
Yeah.
It's so good. And he has so many great one-liners. Everything is elevated in this movie, but not trying too hard. And we were talking about that before we started recording, is that there are a couple of sequels, not these ones, that the sequel was just trying too hard, right? It was trying too hard to be funny and all these things. And this doesn't have that problem at all. Everything is just elevated. The budget, the fight sequences, the action, the comedy, everything about it is just so good. And Chris Tucker is still hilarious. And one of my favorite lines that I still quote to this day is it's once he actually ends up fighting with a woman, he's like, I've never hit a woman in my life, but you are pushing it.
Yeah,
and so he ends up getting in a fight with this woman, and at one point he says,
we could have been a good couple. We could have had something special. But you one crazy ass bitch.
I still say that. It's so good.
Oh yeah, no, it's great.
Oh god, the way he delivers it is so funny, and it's just his physical comedy combined with his voice is what makes him hilarious.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh god, I really, really enjoyed him in this movie. I've forgotten how spectacular this is as a comedy, beyond being action as well.
And one thing that you mentioned with that crazy ass bitch line, that was on like the 20 to 25th take because Chris Tucker did not want to call her a bitch at all. He just kept saying a whole bunch of different shit. And the director was like, dude, you got to say it. It's going to be hilarious. Just do it one time and we'll move on, okay? And I'll cut something in if it doesn't work. And, of course, he does it. And then they show him the playback on the BTS documentary on the DVD. And Tucker's like, all right, that was good. That was good. And, like, walks away. And it's like, dude, it is. Because I think that was one of the biggest lines that anybody ever recited after the movie had come out. I was like, you want crazy ass bitch? Because then he says it again later on the movie. At one point he goes, crazy ass, and then like he doesn't get to say bitch because something happens.
Yes, that's
and
right.
of course I remember everybody in the theater just like applauding with the whole crazy ass. Like that just was so fucking hilarious.
Such a good scene too, that later scene.
Oh yeah.
I remember watching this movie in theaters, and I want, even though this is actually the end of the movie, I'm holding off something else, so I need to say this first.
Yeah.
I remember watching this movie in theaters, and I laughed so hard. It's one of those times in your life where you're like, this full soul, your heart is completely in this laugh because
oh yeah.
It's that good, and it was because I was taken by surprise, and it's during the bloopers where something happens, he goes, well, he's not going to be in Rush Hour 3.
Oh, yeah.
So, just a throwaway line that was so unexpected that I laughed so hard. I will always remember that moment in the theaters. It was so good. But but beyond that, we have to talk about Jeremy Piven.
Oh, hell yeah, we do. When I was watching this the other night, people that follow me on Instagram, my personal page, and the podcast page, I always tag the actors that have an Instagram in the movies that I'm watching. And I try and do that all the time, not because I want them to message. I mean, well, of course, yes, I do want them to message me like, oh, that was a great shoot. What's your name? You know, it's happened like twice in my tenure on being on Instagram. I've had a couple actors like respond to a post of mine. Like Dina Myers responded a couple times.
You're friends with Susan Egan at this point.
I am friends with Susan Egan. Yes, Susan Egan, big fan of Susan Egan. But I tagged Jeremy Piven in this movie, and it wasn't even the Jeremy Piven scene, but he did come to my story and saw it and gave me a like on the story.
Oh,
so
nice.
I was like, fuck yeah, Jeremy Piven. And he's actually seen every story that I've posted, like when we did Gross Point Blank.
Yeah.
He saw those posts.
Yeah.
And a couple other things
your
that
page before. That's right.
Yeah, it's really awesome. Like Leguizamo has with other things and other actors as well. And band members and all that kind of stuff. Yes, let's talk about the Jeremy Piven scene. Apparently, that Jeremy Piven scene was all improvised. I think I read and saw that in the script, he only had one line, and it was, "Can I help you, gentlemen?"
Yeah.
And then he just went off. And I remember when I saw this movie in the theaters, I recognized him from Gross Point Blank because Entourage hadn't yet come out.
No, it hadn't.
And I was like, okay, I recognize this guy, Gross Point Blank. And I think Serendipity had also come out.
Pretty sure it's...
Yeah, so I'm like, I know what this guy... And, of course, like, the way that he's talking and... But, oh, my gosh, yeah, just magnificent. And, of course, the whole theater was in an uproar with everything that he said. The Little Kim moment is, like, the most fucking... quoted part of ooh, I like that. I'll pull some items. Little Kim, okay.
And it's towards the end of the scene that he's been owning and stealing completely. And then later, the next scene, Chris Tucker's actually wearing what Jeremy Piven said he should wear.
The Croc skin buttercream. Yeah. Yes. Buttercream, Croc skin buttercream.
Oh, God.
What size is the waist? Let's put a dead animal on you.
That's my favorite line. Just the way he says it. Jesus. And I just have so much respect for anyone who can improvise like that, and especially in a comedy. I mean, good God. It's like Kristen Wiig and Maya Rudolph and Melissa McCarthy all improvising together in their movies, right? I mean, it's just so brilliant, the type of mind that takes. Like,
it's
beyond
ridiculous.
Whether Jeremy has a good reputation or in Hollywood or not, like, just his brain in comedy, I have to respect.
Absolutely. Hell yeah. No, and whatever he's wearing, that like kind of turtleneck something or other, he's got the bleached tips in his hair, and I gotta think that look was all his idea too. Like he
I'm
just
sure.
came in and was like, oh, let me just totally
He probably
take
just
this
came,
by the ball and chain, and
he probably actually just brought his costume with him.
probably, yeah, very likely.
Because I don't even know if he would have gotten a full credit. I mean, I guess he does have one speaking line, so technically SAG would probably require him to get credit for that because there is a speaking line. But it's really short. It could have theoretically been uncredited. And instead, he becomes one of the most memorable parts of the movie still 25 years later.
Yeah. It is a scene that most people talk about. That and Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker running around naked. And the first fight sequence after the karaoke bar. I mean, there's so many moments that are just so kick-ass in this movie.
Jackie
No pun
Chan
intended.
says, there are many men chasing us. And Jeremy goes,
Yeah.
as well, they should be.
Yeah.
So good. Oh, God. We should just
What
play that
size
whole
is the
audio
waist?
clip.
I know, we really should. Ooh, he's got some fire to. Yeah, let's just play the audio clip.
Hi, nice to see you. Can I help you, gentlemen?
Yeah, I'm gonna need black, 42 long, and nothing touches this body but pure silk. And get my partner something from the kids department.
Okay, would your partner like to be wrapped in silk as well? Some people think it's tacky, but I really enjoy it when couples dress alike.
No, wait a minute, no. This ain't no couple thing, man. We police officers working a very dangerous case and we need some clothes.
Yes, there are a lot of men chasing us.
As well they should be. Listen, you have nothing to worry about, okay? Because I'm going to turn you two into the belle of the ball.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Let's start with you, shall we? You got the mochaccino face, wonderful skin, and the big broad shoulders, okay? Let's put a dead animal on you. Croc skin, buttercream, croc skin, buttercream. What size is the waist? Let's go in. I want to.
Hey! Watch his sweetness.
He's got some fire to him.
Honey cups.
I like that.
Go get the clothes.
Okay,
Hurry up.
I'll pull some items. Ooh, jeez. Little Kim, I'll be back.
You see that?
He likes you.
Gotta love Jeremy Piven. So other than that, V, anything else you want to add before I get into a little bit of more BTS of the making of Rush Hour 2? We can keep talking about it. I have no problem talking about it. We can spend another 20 minutes just talking about this movie.
Oh, I'm sure some things will come up as you talk about the trivia. The only other
Yes.
thing I wanted to say about the stunts is I cannot believe it just stuck in my head so clearly, and it has for the last 25 years. When Jackie Chan, he's running through behind the scenes of this building, and he has to try to squeeze through this money changing gate. It looks like when you go to old banks and they have the iron bars and just the little rectangle at the bottom so you can slip your ID or your check or your money to the teller. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
And he's running around and then slides through it. And the first time I ever saw it, it blew me away. And then it shows up on the bloopers as well, which was really nice of him to include.
Yeah.
But I've always thought of all the stunts in this movie that are very spectacular and very big, and they're bouncing off a Mack truck at one point, and there's so many different things. But that's just the coordination and the clearance, or the lack thereof of clearance that he had. It's such a tough stunt. And that one specifically always stood out to me in this movie, and I just wanted to shout it out because it was, the talent it takes for Jackie or any person to do that stunt was rather impressive. So I just wanted to shout it out.
No, absolutely. I think it's a more of a funny moment when they're in the massage parlor. Detective Carter leans over a chair, and Lee uses his back to windmill over him. Yeah. And then he ends up pulling Detective Carter's legs to have the chair fall and him land softly. And then he flips him over, and Carter's like, no. And then he does it. He goes, yeah, that was the shit. And then they start beating the shit out of the other guys. And that one other moment where it's just Jackie and two other henchmen, and he's got the right and left hand going almost every millisecond.
So awesome.
Yeah, it's just out of control. And I've watched the BTS of the making of Rush Hour 2 since I got the DVD, and it's a New Line DVD with Infinifilm. Do you remember Infinifilm?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. So I have one of those old Infinifilm DVDs where you can watch the movie and have Infinifilm on. So during certain sequences, you can click on a special feature and it'll take you to a BTS of how that scene was shot. And I've only ever watched the Infinifilm on this, and I think I have 2 or 3 other Infinifilm movies. And I did the Infinifilm thing once or twice, and it's really cool, but it does kind of pull you out of the movie. So that's why I like to watch the special features after. There is other moments in this movie, of course, when they get back to L.A. and they are hanging out in another hotel room across from Rain Plaza. And somehow, it's a movie, of course. They're able to see Stephen Rain's hotel room, and who's in there but Isabella, Rosalind Sanchez. And they're spying on her, and they're trying to see what Stephen Rain's up to. And this moment was one of the funnier moments in the movie. I mean, they're all so funny. But when Rosalind Sanchez takes off her robe and Carter sees what she's wearing and he says, Victoria's Secret, spring catalog, page 27. Girl got class. Because, in all honesty, us men, we have flipped through the Victoria's Secret catalog several times in our lives.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't tell you what fucking page things were from, but I definitely have done that as a man, as a straight man, of course.
I mean, before Victoria's Secret,
Angels.
it was a Sears catalog.
That's true.
And before
Yep,
that, it was
Sears.
National Geographic.
Exactly. So there's just moment after moment in this hour and a half that are just explosively entertaining. No pun intended. And it's a great story, and it leads into part 3, which is also very entertaining.
I don't know
which
if
I got to rewatch again.
Ever
I haven't
seen part 3? I don't think I've ever watched it.
It's been a while for me. But one thing we didn't talk about was they end up in Las Vegas. And they go to the Red Dragon, which, oddly enough, the next movie from this director is
Red Dragon.
Which is a great fucking movie.
It is a great film.
So this director has good under his belt, just not up in his brain.
I think that's a perfect description.
There we go. The reason why I bring up Las Vegas is because there's a casino, the Red Dragon, and there's a whole bunch of funny money made for this movie. Of course, the whole counterfeit, triad, smuggling ring, etc.
Well, also just because it's a movie, it's got to be fake money. But yes, there is a plot point of having lots of money. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And on these $100 bills, instead of "In God We Trust," it said "In Dog We Trust." And there's a moment in this movie, V, where I'm sure you remember a bomb goes off and a whole bunch of that money gets just strewn about on the set.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. So what did the BG do? They ran out there and grabbed a whole bunch of fake fucking money and went to other casinos and used it to gamble with.
Oh my God. You know what?
The FBI got involved. They had to shut production down because people were using funny money from the set of this movie. And it ended up being, they were trying to figure out if this movie itself had fucked with the Counterfeit Deterrence Act of 1992.
I love that so much. It's one of my new favorite pieces of movie trivia. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And Chris Tucker being a tall, thin, athletic, handsome black man, apparently a lot of the people, a lot of the Hong Kong residents thought that he was Kobe Bryant.
Oh, is that why he's called Kobe?
That's why he's called Kobe in that one scene in the
I've
stairwell.
always wondered what the hell that was about.
Oh, see, I picked that up the first time I saw it. I was like, she thinks he's Kobe Bryant.
Oh, that I was never a fan. I'm not a huge fan of basketball, and I was never a fan of the Lakers, so that never crossed my mind. Oh, thank you. That fills in a gap, actually.
Yeah, no, totally. Speaking of Las Vegas and the Strip, they shot near the Desert Inn, just off the Las Vegas Strip, off the beaten path a little bit. I'd been in that casino a couple times in the early 90s. I don't think, I think it became something else I mean, obviously now it's certainly something else. But during the production of this movie, they had to shut down again because a carload of drunken tourists ended up getting into a fight with a taxi driver and drove through the set of this movie, almost running into crew and background, including the taxi driver. And the cops had to get involved, and they shut down production for just a couple hours just to kind of clear up all that mess. But that would be something else. Could you imagine, like, your background and all of a sudden this taxi and this drunken carload of people just comes flying by the set that you're working on?
No, remember that super angry neighbor out in the Malibu Hills because we had all those lights on at that movie we were shooting together? And she came hauling ass up and almost hit...
That's right, she did.
She almost hit me and whoever the manager was for us. I forget his name. He was the big guy that we both knew.
That's right. I don't remember his name either.
I think Brian Krause was in the back at that point. Chris was out.
Krause was in that movie. Yes.
Yeah, he was. Chris, who managed the trucking, was kind of out front too. God, she was fired up. She was such a bitch. And
well, it was 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah,
in the
part of
Malibu
me.
Hills.
So part of me totally understands is because we had these huge bright lights on for this movie shoot because you have to when you're shooting at night.
Yeah.
And then she said they were pointed at her house and it's 2 a.m, and I get that part. However, we had placed notices on all of the neighbors about shooting.
Oh, yeah.
You can be pissed and not almost run someone over, and multiple
Totally.
people, actually, because, she came up that driveway hot.
I remember that, yeah.
God, I totally forgot about that until you said that about the taxi. Holy shit.
Yeah, people get pissed at productions. It's
people
kinda
get
funny.
pissed when their daily routines are interrupted for some reason.
Yeah, that's very solid. I get that way. I can understand it.
Yeah.
And now that I've been out of the industry, if I, who knows how I would react now? I don't think I would react that way. But either way, the scene that we are introduced to Rosalind Sanchez's character, you notice that she's very stoic a little bit, right? She's just kind of like, oh,
On
yeah,
the
I'm
boat?
from San Juan. Oh, yeah, she's like, I'm from
'cause
San
Chris
Juan.
Tucker's full of shit.
Well, no, there's actually a
This is my
reason why
boat.
she looks the way she looks.
She's totally unimpressed with him because she knows that he's lying.
Well, yeah, she plays that off very well, but apparently she also was dealing with some seasickness as well. She has bad seasickness, so the that kind of helped with the scene and
It
her
did.
not being even remotely interested in what Chris Tucker had to say.
That's called method acting.
Yes, it is.
Oh, poor girl. That sucks.
Yeah, it does. I've never had seasickness or anything like that, so
I've only had seasickness once in my life, and it was specifically because of just the cadence of the way the boat was going up and down. It was a little bit stormy that day, and we were out to go diving with some huge, big manta rays.
oh,
And I threw up things that I'd probably eaten a month before. I was so sick.
oh, really? Wow.
If I had fallen over and drowned, I would have been happy. Like, I was the most miserable I've been. That was like the top 3 most miserable I've ever been in my entire life.
Oh,
So I
sucks.
understand. I don't know how extreme her seasickness was, obviously, but that's happened once to me before. And oh God, I would have paid all of the money I ever made in my life to get back on shore.
Oh, damn.
It was brutal. So yeah, sympathies to anyone who experiences seasickness.
Most definitely. I don't ever want to experience that.
No, it's horrible.
Sounds like it. Chris Penn and Philip Baker Hall were slated to reprise their roles in this movie.
Aw.
Philip Baker Hall did shoot his scenes. It ended up on the cutting room floor. It's actually on the DVD of extended and deleted scenes. So if anybody's curious about that, you can check that out. Chris Penn, unfortunately, did not shoot any of the material that he was going to for this movie. Jackie Chan was actually sucker punched by a fan on the street while this movie was in production.
What the hell?
Yeah, the reason why the fan tried to sucker punch and succeeded was because he was so convinced that Jackie Chan was going to block the punch.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, could you imagine being Jackie Chan just walking around, people just try and swing at you, and you're all day just going like,
Oh,
trying
that'd be
to
awful.
dodge people hitting and kicking you?
Well, we were
Sounds
just
fucking terrible.
Yeah, it does. And we were just talking before we started recording. We were talking about how if we were ever famous, we would just wear a GoPro all the time
All the time, yeah.
as a recount
Just in
of.
case people came up to you.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's
You
awful.
never know. This is no surprise to anybody because there is a sequel, but the reason why there is a sequel is because Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan had so much fun making Rush Hour that they wanted to make another movie together.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, and have you seen that video? I think it came out within the last year where Jackie Chan is doing an interview and Chris Tucker shows up and Jackie Chan like reacts like a 5-year-old at Christmas.
No?
Oh, it's amazing. I'll have to find it and post it on our page and send it to you.
Yeah,
It's,
send it
it's
to me.
really great.
Oh, that's
yeah,
great.
it was cool to see them back together again. And there's rumors that a 4th Rush Hour is on the way. So that would be pretty cool. I'm on board because, you know, as much as I love the Bad Boys movies, I think I like the Rush Hour movies
yeah.
more.
Absolutely. I think both of these men are stronger in terms of their chemistry and acting. So
Mhm.
I think that's really funny because Martin Lawrence was originally considered for this film.
Right?
I mean, they're making another Lethal Weapon movie. They
Yeah.
made another Beverly Hills Cop movie. Might as well.
Might as fucking well.
Yeah. And let's talk about the budgets together since I forgot to talk about the budget for my film.
Oh, yeah, sure. Do you want to start?
Sure.
All right, cool.
So, as I said in the beginning of this episode, the budget for Rush Hour was $33 million. It grossed $141 million in the U.S.
Nice.
and $245 million off a $33 million budget
Not
worldwide,
bad.
which leads into your film. No wonder they wanted to make another one.
Yeah, definitely. Release date for Rush Hour 2, August 3rd of 2001. Budget for this one, V. Your first one, 33. What do you think the budget for number 2 was?
65.
Nope. $90 million.
Oh my God!
$90 million.
Holy shit!
Yeah, 90 mil.
What do you think you are, Chris Nolan?
Seriously.
Holy shit!
Seriously.
Wow, when you said no so quickly, I thought it was because I'd guessed too high.
Oh, no. Nope. You didn't guess high enough.
Lord.
Yeah. Opening weekend in the U.S., $67.4 million. I was a contributor to at least $18 of that
Yes.
because tickets were so much cheaper. The domestic box office gross, $226.1 million. Worldwide gross box office for Rush Hour 2, $347.3 million.
Jesus.
Absolute success, massively entertaining. Everybody loved it. I don't know a single person that does not like Rush Hour 2. I really
dad
don't.
thinks that Chris Tucker is annoying in The Fifth Element, but loves these films. That's how good these films are, is that even though he finds one of the actors annoying, he still loves them.
Still likes the movie. Yeah. Sure. That's how my grandma was with Jim Carrey. She hated Jim Carrey until she saw Liar Liar, but she still didn't like him, but she loved Liar Liar.
Oh, she would have loved our episode about that movie then.
Oh, yeah. I think I mentioned that in that episode as well.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So that is Rush Hour 2, and that is Rush Hour. That is our Rush Hour episode. Rush Hour! And actually, they do only say Rush Hour in one of the movies, V. Which one is it? Right before Soo Young is kidnapped, the guy says, "Is there a problem, officer?" He goes, "No problem, just Rush Hour," and then shoots them.
Oh, yeah. I love that actor, too.
Yeah, and he's also in Project Hail Mary, which is pretty sweet.
He was in X-Men 3. That's where I recognized him from.
I don't remember him in X-Men 3 at all, but that makes sense because same director.
And that movie blew.
Sure did. It's terrible.
Oh.
Awful movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. That was a blast and a half. I really enjoyed talking about both of these movies. It was great to revisit Rush Hour and revisit Rush Hour 2.
Yeah.
Please do follow us, rate, review, subscribe. Oh, also, V, would you watch Rush Hour with your grandmother?
Absolutely. These are great
Nice.
action comedies. I mean, they're rated PG-13. They cuss less than John does in an episode. And so I definitely recommend them for anyone over the age of like 12 or 13.
Absolutely.
This is really family. These are actually family-friendly films, even though there's a bit of violence. 12 people die in Rush Hour.
Sure.
Chris Tucker is responsible for 2 of them, apparently. And so, yeah, it's a pretty tame film. Definitely hilarious. I watched this growing up with my whole family, and we all really enjoyed it. And I need to ask my parents and my siblings when the last time they watched these movies were, because I bet it was a while, too.
Probably, yeah.
And would you watch Rush Hour 2 with your grandma?
No, I don't think my grandma would like it very much.
But again, very family accessible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not weird enough for her.
No. Well, I'm looking forward to next week's episode because we are going to be getting into more comedy, but a different subgenre of comedy. V, do you want to let everybody know what we're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. We are back on track, and how else could we do that? Not only with action comedies, but also horror comedies.
Horror comedies.
John and I have been through some shit over the last 6 weeks, so we need some levity. Next couple weeks are going to be like that, and we hope you enjoy those and are here for them because we figure a lot of people need some levity right now. So we're going back to horror comedies, and one of them actually has a sequel in theaters right now, so that's another reason why we wanted to talk about it. Next week, I'm picking... Oh, God, I'm so pissed you got to pick your film, honestly, because I love it. But I get to introduce you to another horror comedy, so I'm very excited about that, because I picked the 2017... Not sure if we've picked that year yet. I don't think I have.
Ooh, maybe not.
The 2017 movie Happy Death Day.
I've never seen it.
John has never seen it. It's a little bit of a twist on Groundhog Day, and that's all I'm going to say. It is streaming right now on Netflix and HBO Max if you want to follow along. And I'm really
Awesome.
I'm really excited to introduce John to it. And John, what horror comedy did you pick?
I picked a movie that has a sequel out that is currently in theaters right now with Samara Weaving. Samara Weaving stars in my pick, and I am doing Ready or Not.
I'm really excited to talk about that film and introduce our audience to it. I'm more than a tiny bit bitter that you get to do it, though. So.
I know you are. I know. It is currently streaming on Hulu. It is. It's a great movie. I highly recommend you follow along with us if you have not seen it.
We will both of us talk about the sequel during that episode as well, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, definitely.
And Catherine Newton's in the sequel.
Yes, and Elijah Wood's in the sequel, and Adam Brody's in the first one. It's just a mishmash of actors that show up. It's great.
It is.
Well, stay tuned, like we just said, everybody, for that episode next week. Thanks for joining us. Rate, review, subscribe, follow us on all social media. And if there's any movies that you would like to hear on the podcast, let us know. Leave it in a comment, leave it in a message, however you want to get in touch with us. Let's hear what you got out there in the world of cinema. So without further ado, let's close this episode out with film as a form of art, and in art, all opinions are valid, except if you think
a movie series shouldn't take over an entire episode of our podcast.
Nice.
We'll probably do it again.
Oh, we definitely will.
Great.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. We'll see you later, you crazy ass bitches.